Okay, let's get started. Thanks everyone for joining this webinar today. My name is Zahra Zolfagari and I'm the research team lead here at cove.tool. For those of you who are less familiar with cove.tool, it's an early stage building performance analysis web application that uses cloud computing and hosting to run different types of analysis. Running this analysis helps with providing architects and engineers with quantitative data that can inform the design decisions and result in more efficient buildings. It's important to know that data collection is the first step. The second step is to visualize and present the data in an effective way. Once we have enough data, how to present the data we gathered in a readable and useful way for clear communication and implementation becomes very important. And that's really something that I will focus on today during this webinar. Today's webinar topic is designing for impact using graphics to showcase your high performance buildings. Here is the more detailed agenda of the call. So first we'll talk a little bit about the benefits of quick visualization and why data visualization and graphics are important. Then I will show you the graphics you can get from cove.tool, from different features, from different pages. I will talk about the ways you can post-process cove.tool graphics with Adobe Suite or other tools to create insightful diagrams. And finally, I will close with showing an example, a case study of a customized report that one of our users created. I will try to allocate about 5 minutes at the end of the session to your question. Feel free to drop your questions in the chat section, and we can go over them at the end of the call. If we run out of time by any chance, feel free to send your question to our support team. I'm going to show you where you can drop your questions, and they will get back to you usually under 5 minutes and answer your question. So let's start with the importance of good data visualization. Data visualization and readable graphics are vital during the design process for several reasons that are listed here. So first, they simplify complex information by transforming them into visually appealing representations, making it easier to understand patterns and trends within the data. Second, they enhance comprehension and retention, and as humans process visual information faster and more effectively. So when we see a picture, we are more likely to understand and remember what it is showing us. Third, data visualization facilitates data-driven decision-making by presenting information in a clear and intuitive manner. When we see the data presented in a clear and easy to understand way, it's much easier for us to make informed choices, informed design decisions. Additionally, visualization support the storytelling by conveying narratives and engaging the audience. They also increase accessibility by catering to a broader range of individuals. So by using visuals and graphics, we can convey narratives and captivate people's attention. Lastly, data visualizations encourage exploration and discovery. When we interact with the data through visualizations, we can uncover new insights and understand the information in a deeper way. It allows us to dive into the data and find interesting things that we may not have noticed otherwise. In summary, data visualization and readable graphics play a vital role in simplifying information, aiding understanding, supporting decision-making, storytelling, accessibility, and exploration throughout the design process. With that introduction, let's take a look at different data points and graphics that users can get from cove.tool. So part of cove.tool outputs are presented through graphics, such as the results you get from the 3D analysis page. You can see heat maps and colors on your 3D geometry in your architectural model. This data is kind of clear and ready for presentation, but with a little bit more post-processing with Adobe Suites, they can be used to create insightful architectural diagrams. On the other hand, some outputs are presented as numbers and graphs in cove.tool, graphs such as bar charts or donut charts or other types of graphs. For example, most of the outputs you get from the energy analysis, cost optimization runs, and carbon tool are presented as numbers and graphs. Again, users either directly use the graphs in the report or use the numbers and create graphs based on the numbers they get from the tool and customize their reports. So in these next slides, I will show how you can customize cove.tool outputs to make it more useful and readable. So let's start with shadow analysis. So this is one of the analysis types on the 3D analysis page in cove.tool. The shadow analysis allows a designer to study the amount of solar access to different parts of the site and building design at various times of the day throughout the year. The best times to evaluate your model can really vary based on your location. However, the standard for most North American building locations is 4 times a day in each season. So for spring, we usually analyze March 21st. For summer, we use June 21st. For September, for fall, September 21st represents the day in that season, and also for December, for winter, December 21st. And for summer, spring, and fall, we usually use times at 1, 3, 5, and 7 p.m. And for winter, we use 9, 11, 1, and 3 p.m. So this image here shows the shadow condition on March 21st for the spring at 1, 3, 5, and 7 p.m., all overlaid in one single image. So you can see a general pattern of shadow condition in the spring. So to create this shadow diagram, the overlay diagram, you can take these steps. I will just read through. So you can, and like later, I will just open the web app and show you the step-by-step process there. So you just need to open the 3D analysis page at cove.tool and go to the shadow tab. So we have different types of analysis here. One of them is shadow. You need to click on that button, use the calendar icon and time option bar to select the date and time, set up the preferred angle using your mouse, and then click on the camera icon to save a PNG file of the 3D scene. So far, if I want to show this on the tool, this is the 3D analysis page that I was talking about. So as you can see here, we have multiple pages, multiple features. In the 3D analysis page, you can run different types of 3D analysis, daylight, glare, radiation, sun hours, shadow, COVID, and views. So as I mentioned, shadow is one of these types, the first option. So we will generate all these context data automatically based on your location. So users need to enter a location when they are setting up their project in cove.tool, and based on that user input, based on the location, we will generate all these context, which is necessary for running different types of analysis. And here, shadow is the point in time analysis, which means that you can select the date from this calendar that I mentioned, and play with this bar here, time bar, in order to see the shadow condition in your location during different times of the day. And then you can also drag with your mouse and set the angle here. And once you found a good angle, you can just click on this icon in order to download the PNG file of this 3D view. You can also save the view in case you want to return to this angle. So once you got your a screenshot from the tool, the PNG file, you can create a new document in Adobe Photoshop, and you need to place all the saved files in different layers with the order of time. So again, back to this page, as I mentioned, for spring, good times are 1, 3, 5, and 7. So you can select different types, take like different screenshots, and then export all of them to Photoshop. And then you just need to change the order of the layers, and put them in the right order, and then use the opacity bar to change the opacity of each layer. Just make sure to gradually increase the opacity as you move up to the top layer so that the upper layers do not hide the lower layers. So this is how you can create a simple overlaid shadow diagram. Another effective way to illustrate the shadow pattern of your building over time is by using a graphic interchange format, or GIF. So you can use different screen recorders that are available in the market for free, such as a screen to GIF. That's something that I usually use, and I use that in order to create this graphic here, this GIF. So to create this, you just need to first open whatever screen recorder application you want to use and click on the recorder. There's usually a recorder button there. You then need to frame part of the screen you want to record using your mouse. Next, set up the right angle in the cove.tool 3D analysis page and start recording, and keep changing the time bar that I showed you earlier, in order to see the shadow condition in different times of the day. Then click stop and save the file on your computer. And then you can definitely include this in your presentations, in your PowerPoints, reports that you create to share with your clients or your team. So in this set of diagrams, we use the SDA and ASE results in 3D and 2D mode and customize them a little bit to better illustrate the part of the plan and facade that receive the most daylight by showing the sun pass. So this thick building outline, the sun pass and compass are the only elements that I added to the screenshot which I took from the 3D analysis page in order to create these graphics. So these images clearly shows that the glare situation in the south facade of the tower can be enhanced by using effective horizontal shading devices. Also, the heat map colors on the plans indicates the depths of daylight penetration. Knowing this information helps design teams to, decide about the interior layouts, the, location of interior walls, furniture, and also deciding about the visible transmittance of the glass material they want to use based on the glare and, the SDA, the daylight that the plan receives. So to create these diagrams, you can follow these steps. Again, I'm going to hop over the app and show you the steps there as well. But again, you just need to open the 3D analysis page. You first need to run the SDA and ASE analysis once you exported your geometry to the web app. Then you need to set up the 3D scene with a good angle and use the camera icon to save a PNG file of the shadow study. Switch back to SDA and ASE tabs, turn off all the elements, all the building components using element selection feature on the right-hand side of the page, and save PNG files of the 3D and 2D scene by clicking on the camera icon. So now you got the screenshots from cove.tool. So this is, where you can find the SDA and ASE analysis. They all comes with a legend here. So as I mentioned, you can, change the visibility, where you have control over the visibility of different objects in this 3D scene. Under the element selection, you can turn off walls, you can turn off, so that was exterior wall, this is interior wall. You can turn off roof, window, shading devices, spandrel, the grid, furniture, floors, shading devices, context building, the map, grid, and other things that you have in the 3D scene. You also can turn off and turn on the results for different levels. So that's what I did in order to get one of those diagrams in the graphic that I showed earlier. Just need to set the view to the right angle, and then you can just take a screenshot, just download the PNG file by clicking on this camera icon. So let's go back to the PowerPoint and go over the next steps. Then I can just open these files that you downloaded in Adobe Illustrator or Photoshop. I added this thick background, I added the sun pass, and also this compass icon manually to these 3D and 2D views. You can also use text and other icons to, point out important takeaways and information, from the results from like your graphics. We also have a facade tool, which is a rapid prototyping tool to test and validate different facade strategies, different window and shading device configurations. So users can customize the graphics they can get from this page in order to better understand the spatial quality of the room based on their facade design. So as you can see in this GIF, you can add windows to each facade of this room in different cardinal directions. And then you can change the window to wall ratio and add shading devices to each window. So all the controls, so actually not all of them are included here, but you can see them in the next page. If you're not familiar with SDA and ASE terms, SDA stands for Spatial Daylight Autonomy, which represents the percentage of floor area that receive enough daylight throughout the year. And ASE stands for Annual Solar Exposure, which represents the percentage of floor area that receive too much direct sunlight, which can cause glare or visual discomfort and of course overheating. So ASE kinds of represent glare. So in these diagrams, we used the results from the facade tool and integrated them with some hand sketches to better illustrate the effect of horizontal shading devices on the daylight quality of the space. So very quickly, I'm jumping over the facade tool here. So this is the facade prototyping page. So you have this room with fixed dimensions, which is kind of independent from your geometry, and you have different cardinal directions here on the top. So we currently have only 3 because these directions are based on the area inputs that users enter to the geometry page. But you can select each direction, and here you can add or remove windows to each of these directions. You can use these bars in order to change the dimension of the selected windows here. You can change either their height or width. You can change their distance from the edge. You can change the window sill height, the placement of the window on the wall. You can add overhangs and change the depths of these overhangs. You can add fins and change I'm going to remove the overhangs so that you can see the fins here. You can add fins, you can change the depths of the fins, you can change the visible transmittance of the glass material here, and then you can see the live SDA and ASE results associated with each of these facade options, facade strategies. And of course, you can see the window to wall ratio here. So you can use these like graphics. You can take screenshots of these graphics in order to, include it in your presentation. So you can follow these steps in order to create this thing that I put here. So you just need to select the cardinal direction, window to wall ratio, window position, and horizontal or vertical shading configuration using different option bars on the right-hand side of the page. So I just showed you this. Then you can navigate inside the shoebox model, that room with the fixed dimension, and find the right angle and take a screenshot. And then you can print the screenshot and lay a tracing paper on it and draw figures and furniture, just do hand sketching. And then take a photo of your drawings, open it up in Photoshop, and remove the background of your drawing using Magic Eraser tool. You can change the color of lines using Paint Bucket tool and place it on top of your shoebox model as a separate layer. And feel free to make more adjustments by adding more elements such as light rays or axes or arrows or things like that. So users can also use the PDF report that comes with each cove.tool project and customize it in order to make it more insightful. for presentation to your teams and clients. So let me jump on the tool again and show you the PDF report that you can get from cove.tool. So if you go to the baseline energy page, you get this button here for creating a report. Alternatively, you can download the report when you save your project in your project dashboard. So you can just click on any of these projects and click on the, download the report. So this is how the report looks like. It comes with a cover page. You can, upload your logo to your profile, to your account or dashboard here, and that will show up in your report. You can see the name of your project, the date it was created. You can see the VOCA score, transit score, and WICA score, which altogether shows the accessibility to your project. You can see the energy use intensity of your project based on the energy inputs that you either enter to the tool or first selected based on your energy code. You can see a benchmarking table, daylight and glare threshold, the summary of the baseline energy page. So these are the energy outputs or results that you can get from cove.tool. The summary of water use page. So we are calculating 4 different types of water consumption. You can see the results for each of these types. 2030 palette, which is a list of some successful projects that used some passive design strategy to increase the efficiency of the building. So you can see different strategies here, and you can click on them, and you will be directed to 2030palette.org and read more about these projects and the strategies they used. And the last part of the PDF report is the climate analysis section. So you can see 6 different climate diagrams here, including relative temperature and humidity, radiation by sky segment, adaptive comfort, radiation benefits, psychometric chart, and windrows diagrams, which shows the direction and velocity of winds in different months of the year. So you can either use this PDF directly, for presentation purposes, or you can customize this PDF report and add more elements into it in order to make it a little bit better, to enhance it, to make it more insightful. So I'm going back to the PowerPoint. These are some of the pages that one of our users customized for a competition interview. So they downloaded this PDF report that I just showed you, and they just added more elements to it. And after this, I'm going to show you the actual PDF report. So some background on this project. This is the Trenova Ranch project that Paul Halagian Architects worked on. And we actually have a case study of this project that you can find in our website if you're interested in learning more about the project. So the design team decided to target net zero, and they analyzed the EUI of several design options with different energy inputs. So here you can see their baseline option. So the baseline option is the option based on, actually this is not the baseline option. Okay, it seems I missed something here, but the baseline option has an EUI of around like 40. Actually, let me pull up the actual report. One sec. Okay, this is the baseline option. So, so this baseline option, shows the baseline energy use intensity, which is calculated based on the code minimum requirements or the baseline requirements of the energy code that they selected or they need to comply with when they were setting up the project. So as you can see, they added a 3D section of their geometry to point out the changes to the building characteristics and highlight the changes to the EUI. This really helps to better understand the numbers and what was the driver for these numbers. Then in the next option, in the next design iteration, they upgraded the insulation, they upgraded the insulation level for the envelope. And here you can see that the EUI changed to 38. They had a couple more upgrades here. For example, they upgraded the glazing system. By envelope here, I meant more walls and roofs. So you can see they pointed it out here. And then, they are gradually reducing the EUI by, changing the inputs for different systems. And here they added some solar panels. So we have a solar panel tab in the inputs part, which is not, indicated here. But they added some solar panels, and that way they could, produce about 30 EUI, energy inside that could offset, the whole building energy consumption here. So now the EUI is 7. So they also, have some pages like these where they just, highlights, different sections of the report and, added arrows and more explanations to bold some inputs and, better indicate what each number means. I can show you different like other parts of their report. So this was the, they changed the layout a little bit here as well. This is a little bit different from the report that we, users can download from cove.tool. Here, I already showed these pages. They added this 3D section. So they added like their VAV system here, or actually ERV unit. It's not a VAV system. So, here they mentioned where they located it. And then they just, took a screenshot of the 3D analysis results, and they included it in the PDF report. I'm just going to zoom out a little bit. So this was a quick overview of different ways to utilize cove.tool outputs to create readable graphics and insightful diagrams. We have about like 3 minutes. Let me see if there is any question in the chat section. There is none, so feel free to drop your questions there. So I can just wait for another minute here. And if there's no other question, we can just go ahead and end the session. So there's a question from Sierra. Is there a way to change building graphics within cove.tool, or does it all need to be done with post-processing? By changing the graphics, I believe you mean changing the color, the palette, things like that, right? If that's what you mean, then no, you cannot change that in cove.tool. So you actually need to take the graphics, take the images to another software and change the colors and everything else. John asked, where is the link to the custom PDF project? So you should be able, so this was something that I, the project team shared with me. So you cannot find the report in our website, but you can find the graphics from this report in the case study I mentioned we have in our website. So let me see if I can find that for you here. So if you go to our website, here, and go to Learn and Support, and then Resource Center. Here we have the search box. So search for wrench. Okay, so this is the case study, how Paul Halogen architects designed a net zero carbon office pavilion for Terranova Ranch. So you just need to click on the card, enter your information here, and you'll be given a download link here, and you can download the case study and see. You can see almost like all of the graphics that I showed in the report in this case study. I'm going to drop the link of this case study in the chat section so you guys can use. not sure if this is going to work. Yeah, it's working. Is there any other question? Okay. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention where you can drop your questions. If something comes to your mind, after this session, you can go to our website and you'll see this icon, at the bottom of, every page in our website. So you can just click on the icon and go to the message tab and, click on this ask a question button and send your question, here. And as I mentioned, we'll get back to you like under 10 minutes, under 5 minutes, and answer your question. Okay, I think with that, we can go ahead and end the call. Thanks again, everyone, for joining this session. Hopefully this was helpful, and have a good rest of the day. Thanks, bye.